Hi, my name is Miss Newlove and I'm one of the hosts of a brand new show brought to you by Bestel Foundation.
The Wellbeing Show is to help reach BAME families, to help with mental health, support and emotional needs. The Wellbeing Show streams live every Tuesday at 8 to 9 p.m. on Diversity Radio via Facebook, YouTube and Mixcloud. So tell your family and friends to tune in as we discuss topics that affect our well-being. The Wellbeing Show is proudly sponsored by NHS South London and Maudsley, the National Lottery Community Fund, and partnered with Real Insight, Base, 60 Seconds Creative Studio, and Gold Diggers Talk Show. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Wellbeing Show, brought to you by Bestel Foundation. And my name is Miss Newlove, Eva Newlove, and I'm here with my amazing co-host as usual, Miss Jacqui Obeng, who is the CEO of Base, Become a Successful Entrepreneur. But before I introduce her and before I bring her on, as usual, I'd like to thank our sponsors who are NHS, South London and Maudsley, the National Lottery Community Fund, and also our supporters and partners who are Real Insight Consultant, 60 Seconds Creative Studio, Gold Diggers Talk Show, and Base, Become a Successful Entrepreneur. And the reason I'm mentioning Base so much is because I've noticed that my co-host has been doing a lot of work, so she's going to let us know what she's been up to in regards to Base this week. So, Jacqui, welcome to the show.
A fabulous 2 weeks being away. I'm just going to wish Mrs. Quay Sari a fabulous birthday. Happy birthday, Sari.
Happy birthday. It's today, isn't it?
Sorry?
It's today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's her birthday today. So happy birthday.
Such a lovely person.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
and also,
Sorry?
And also a belated happy birthday to our patron, Peter Hassler.
Yes, happy birthday, Peter. I'm wishing both of them long life, prosperity, and everything their hearts desire.
Definitely.
Good happy birthday to everybody. Well, it's been pretty quiet, being back to school. This is our 4th week, believe it or not. It's gone 4 weeks already since we started. In terms of Base, obviously it's gone down a bit. But then I had a program last week.
That's what I noticed. That's why,
the Enfield Caribbean Association, very, very good. That's also a charitable business where they support the youth in terms of bursary. Actually, I need to talk about that with you after the show. Probably will be interested with kids going to private schools and also funding. So it was quite a lovely environment, meeting a couple of head teachers, some BAME head teachers, I should say, and also other, communities that joined together. So it was a really good event, actually. And then also we got Shanti demonstrating her African fabrics, which was really, really
nice. I saw that. Really beautiful display she had. I didn't know she did that. So
she's been doing that for years. Beautiful. She loves it so much. So she's been doing that for years. So in terms of Base, it's been a bit busy, tiny bit busy, gone down a bit, going back to school. So everything's cool, really. Probably will be picking up after in February. I'm thinking of doing the official launching because it will be 3 years in October already. Do you remember the first year when I came on Gold Diggers?
Yes, I remember. And it's not easy to have a business for 3 years. They say that the first 3 years of business is your testing times. If you survive, that means you're going to make it. So
I think I'm going to make it because I am still striving to get there. So I'm hoping and aiming, keep my fingers crossed to make it. It's been a blessing. It's been rewarding. People are interested. I do help here and there and with some people. So it looks like it's here to stay. It's here to stay. And before I go on to Bestel, how about you, Gold Diggers? Are you going to tell us a bit what's happening?
Oh God, you ask me every 2 weeks. I think you've been asking me.
No, I know I don't.
No, yes, you do. It's on hold, but I mean, I was gonna start, but then things have happened, so I've decided to just start going into production next year.
Oh, next year.
Yeah, because the year's nearly over, and you know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know. I'm sure you told us that you're planning. So we're looking forward to interesting content that you've got coming on.
Definitely.
So back to Bestel. Well, the Wellbeing Show is brought to you by Diversity Radio, and it's also Bestel Foundation, Child and Adult Psychiatric Foundation. Bestel is a charitable organization registered both in the UK and in Ghana. Our aim, or the Bestel's aim, is to address the stigma of mental health within the Black African minority ethnic group, which is the community, raising awareness, providing intervention and supporting the well-being to the entire BAME community, right here in the UK and in Ghana. We do have a large staffing. Obviously, we've mentioned Peter, mentioned Stella, we've mentioned Miss Newlove, we've mentioned Big Joe. We've got loads of people within the Bestel group.
When you go onto the website, it shows you everyone that's
it's got the staffing in different departments of where everybody is responsible for. However, they're raising awareness, providing intervention, supporting the well-being, and also the face-to-face visits that the medical team does, the virtual support, delivering the full parcels with Mariam and her team. Additional to the Tyler's efforts as well, the foundation delivers right here in the UK workshops, and also annual in October, the mental health month. In October, they do visit Ghana, West Africa, and hopefully they'll be visiting the other countries in Africa. Obviously, doing these teachings with various groups, the hospitals, the military services, the prison services, teaching all these awareness. So Bestel are really, really busy.
Very busy.
Trying to promote the stigma of mental health within the community, both in the UK and in Ghana. Get to the aims and objectives a bit later on during the program.
And just to continue off from where you finished, just to say that Bestel Child and Adult Psychiatric Foundation are committed to ensuring accessibility of their services via the website, on social media, and like I was saying, we have a brand new interactive website where you can find out all the information about Bestel, how to contact them, and everything's going across the screen, and will be going across the screen throughout the show. We have Stella, Christabel, and Hilda, and also Auntie Marion on dial 24 hours whenever you need them. And if you need to contact them in regards to mental health, or you need help, or someone who needs help, we're always here to help you. So I just want to remind you that the Wellbeing Show is an interactive show, and we're live here on Diversity Radio on Facebook, and we also stream on Bestel Foundation's YouTube page. So please search for Bestel Foundation on YouTube, and just like the page and share it for us so that we could get the word out there about the show and what Bestel does especially. So and a big thank you to our team who work tirelessly behind the scenes, and they're going to Ghana, as Jacqui mentioned, in October, which is just in like a few weeks. I think in the next 2 weeks they're going. So our patron Peter Hassler will be going with Stella Ajamai, the CEO, and they'll be going with Dr. Shusham Gupta, who's also a patron. We have Mrs. Lauren Cullingham, who's a psychologist, Dr. Justina Sherpastwaska, who's a consultant psychiatrist. Nash will be going. He is Nash Memorial. He's a real insight consultant, and he works really closely with Bestel and has been. And then we have the amazing George, who I had the opportunity of meeting in May. Amazing man, who's the country coordinator in Ghana. So they're going to be doing their thing. And I believe we have an ignoration in Kumasi as well going on. So if you follow Bestel, you'll find out about everything that's going on during Mental Health Week in October.
Exactly. So we just want to remind people that we're here to address the issues about our well-being, how we can keep our well-being. Therefore, do share the program if you can. Tell people about Bestel. Follow us on our social media platforms, bestel.cav, which is Instagram, Bestel, where are we? Bestel CAF at Twitter. Facebook is Bestel Foundation. And the website, again, we've got a fabulous new interactive website, which is the Bestel Foundation.
Yeah.
Have a browse of our website, see all the stuff that we've got available, and also donate to support a good cause about our well-being, how we tackle our well-being.
Yes. And today's show is all about overcoming challenges of changing careers, which I didn't mention in the beginning, and I should have done that. But yeah, it's quite an exciting topic, even though me and Jacqui are very relaxed today.
We're extremely relaxed.
It's a very interesting topic. So share with your family and friends, because it's not easy to change careers, and even the thought of thinking about changing careers can be very scary. But for some of us, it's very important, and it also affects our mental health. So we're going to go into all that today. But yes, like I said, our topic is overcoming challenges of changing careers. So change is exactly that, something new and different, but that doesn't make it bad or even uncomfortable. Like I was saying, it's not a bad thing to want to change your career, especially if you're not happy.
Exactly.
You know, maybe you're a lawyer and then you decide you want to be a teacher or a psychologist or whatever. It's not a bad thing. If you feel like you want to change career, if you feel like you're not happy, do what you do, or it affects your mental health, or you're not getting enough money, or for whatever reason, it all boils down to mental health and what makes us happy or fulfilled in life. So change can be exciting, rewarding and fulfilling, especially when you're making a career change. And when you think about career change, you always think it's something young people do, or it's just for the, you know, like you get to a certain age, you can't change your career. But I remember when I used to work at the council and I met a 50-year-old lady who was studying nursing, and she used to be a policewoman. And her daughter had left home, her son had left home, and she said to me that she realized she wasn't happy being a policewoman, even though she'd been doing it for like 15 years. And she just decided, I'm going to become a nurse. And went to Middlesex University and enrolled. And, you know, she was studying nursing. So I met her when she was on work placement at my workplace. And that was the first time I actually met someone who was older, who had just decided to change their career. And I thought it was quite inspiring for me, like her story. So, you know, but like I said, you face challenges, even if you're in the same career field. A lot of people are like, you know, work within the medical field and they want to probably, you know, change from general nursing to mental health nursing, or is it pediatric nursing? And even that itself can be scary, because it means you have to go and learn. It means you have to maybe reduce your salary, or, you know, it just you know, network with new people. All these things can be scary and challenging. So we're going to just touch base on, you know, some things that can help you while making these decisions.
It can be really obviously challenging when you've worked in an industry for maybe 20 years straight or 30 years straight, and you've reached your limits within, you know, that role. And it's like a second nature to you, know what to do. You then become bored, wouldn't you? So I would understand if people want to change, obviously, their careers, or, you know, whatever, you know, industry that they wanted to be, they belong to, or they feel more comfortable with. And also sometimes it's good for the mental health or your well-being for you to change the environment that you've been, you know, for so long. Because I think maybe I want to change my environment because I've been there for so long now.
Sometimes we're just comfortable, isn't it? But
get comfortable. However, you know, you need to do something that you're very happy about. So if you're not happy, that also have an, you know, an effect on your mental health, because you can't be in a job which you're feeling, you know, you're not feeling anything. You're feeling sadness. You're just there for the salary. How long can you be there for? Every time the alarm goes off, you're upset. You're going to the same place where
I think that's what a lot of people can relate to that, you know. That's why it's good to have these type of conversations to let people, you know, like think about it.
So you know, reasons for career change could be you've reached your limit, unable to progress. So again, if you're in a role and there's no progression, you know, sometimes in interviews, there's one thing that you need to ask your employer. Is there room for progression? You need to know that, because you don't want to be stuck in the career for, 10 odd years and there's no managerial role, there's no supervisory role or head of whatever role, and you're just going to be doing your job for 10 years, 12 years. I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah,
you need to progress as a person. You need to progress, So these will be something that will affect you in the long run, because obviously you're being dormant, you're not progressing in life. So that will be some of the reasons that you can change. The scenery is another one. I used to drive an hour to work, 50 minutes, 55 minutes. I used to like that, because obviously I put on the radio, I'm listening to the gospel for an hour, but then it's now automatic and I'm thinking I'm bored now, so maybe I want to do something else. Like lately, there was this program on in Accra called the Global Citizens Festival.
Oh, it was like 2 days ago, isn't it?
It was it was 10 hours long.
Did you watch it?
I've watched 3 hours already.
I haven't watched none of it, actually. Oh God, I don't know how you do it.
I just brought it in. I just brought it in because I kept listening to the gospel every hour, and I'm thinking, you know what? She's going to stop listening to the gospel. I want to know what happened in Accra. So you see what I mean? It's a bit of a change in the car, for example. So I had the car blasting with the Global Citizen Festival for about an hour drive, which was quite a change, So sometimes the brain needs to receive in different things.
Exactly. Definitely.
So these are some of the reasons, but I know that's not a change for career, but the change of scenery is something that affects that. So I go into work and I'm all singing Stone Boy and I'm singing. I'm in a different mood. You see what I mean? Exactly. So it's very important, to make sure your well-being is being cared of at work, if you're happy or not. Okay. So that would be something to look out for.
Yes, that's true. And things to consider as well, before a career change, and the sacrifices you have to make, like we're saying before, and the costs. You might have to, obviously, relocating, like working in a different place when you've been used to working, like you driving to work for an hour, then when you get a new job, maybe your job's just 30 minutes away, so you might not need to drive and you can walk instead. So there's so many things to consider when you're thinking of changing careers. And then also, sometimes you have to go down in order to go up. Because I remember at one point I was thinking of going into finance, and I did a lot of research because I know a lot of people that work in finance and they make good money. So I was thinking, okay, I work in housing management. I want a career change. I wasn't happy at work. So I was looking into finance. So when I looked at the money difference, it just changed my mind. It just came off my face, because it's like I have to go down, like really down, in order to work my way up. And I thought, am I really going to enjoy it enough to do that? Or am I going to go and get stuck and be on that wage for God knows how long? It's like I had to think about a lot of things, and I just decided, let me just stay where I am.
Right.
So these
and are you happy? How long have you been in your job for?
I've been in my job for 5 years.
Okay.
I've been in my profession for 5 years, should I say. There's a part of my job that I love, because it's about helping people, and the social side of my job I love. But then when it comes to the housing side as such, it's not really my favorite. So there's one part of my job that I really love. Like you're a teacher, you might love a certain part of your job, and then maybe you hate all the paperwork and the whatever that comes with it. But with me, the part that I love outweighs the bad parts.
Right.
But then there's room for progression. I just haven't progressed because I have other things I do, like this.
Of course.
And, the things that I'm extremely
busy.
Yeah, the things that I'm extremely passionate about that are not so much professional, but I do on the side. So there's so much things to consider when you're going into a new career. And then sometimes those things just put you off, and then sometimes they don't. If you really, and it's all about, when I was thinking about this show, I even question myself, because you know, it's not just about money, like you said, it's also about passion.
Yeah.
You have to be passionate a bit about what you do, even if you're a cleaner.
Yeah.
You have to be passionate about making somewhere look nice. And
exactly,
you know, you can't just be a cleaner because you want to. You
want to be a cleaner.
A lot of cleaners actually like cleaning.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
it's not easy to be a cleaner. So there's so many things to consider.
Exactly. Well, yes, because it's quite difficult when you're in a role that you're not happy about, and you're going to stick it out just because the money is good, or you know, there's somebody there that makes you happy, or you know, just because of something you're there. You know, we were all born. I know in the UK here, sometimes we don't have enough choices. You know, obviously, some people want to be, you know, journalists. Some people want to be mechanics. You know, some jobs is quite difficult to come up with.
Yeah, come by. Yeah, like,
you see what I mean. And so you're stuck in some jobs which makes you unhappy, which is affecting your mental health, and therefore these are things to consider when you're in, you know, that sort of, you know, that sort of role. So, for example, you can, I don't know if I'm going to make sense here, but you have to come up with something which will make you happy. You know, for example, if you wanted to, you're a male figure and you wanted to come up with a business, or you're coming up with a mechanic, and then you're working in Costco, for example. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
That is very difficult.
Yeah.
You know?
And sometimes some people don't have a choice. Obviously, they're working to make ends meet, or they're working whilst they're studying. That's different. But we're talking about career.
Yeah.
We're talking about, so when we say career, we're talking about, you know, the what you've studied in, or not even studied as such, but what you've trained in, or
the industry that
you're in.
Yeah.
That's your career. So changing from one career to another. And
yeah. Which is quite difficult, because there's a lot of people who are not in their careers. You know?
No, and especially within our community, when you look at our community, a lot of people are just doing jobs because they're trying to get by.
Yes.
And it's so like, there could be so many factors because of that. Like, that's like another show. But some people maybe to do with immigration, or because of lack of education, or, you know, just because they don't research, they don't even know about different careers. But this is why we do this show, so that we open your mind, you know,
about what the options are.
Exactly. And you know, don't stay in that box because you're around certain people. Like, follow your dreams, and you can achieve what you want to achieve, you know. Even if you're a cleaner and you want to become a dentist, you really can. You know?
Yeah,
you actually really can.
So things to consider, for example, will be building a new network. Network meaning, you know, looking for, you know, new sort of different environment from what you're used to, new connections, new network. You know, changing careers may think, you know, the current network that you're in, you know, there's a block, and therefore you need to move away from that block and build new, you know, new networks or new connections.
Exactly.
Or making new friends where they can link you to new,
or hang around people who you want to be like you know, people that are in the industry that you want to be in. Like, for instance, like with you do bass, you're a teacher, but you do bass. So when you started bass, I'm sure you had to start working with other business owners and entrepreneurs, and, you know, people that are selling a product, because you want to know how they did it, or, you know, maybe you get ideas, or it you know, just to understand how it is to be an entrepreneur.
Exactly. Obviously, I was a bit lucky because obviously I had that background already, but still, as I developed, I'm linking up with obviously the dons that's already in the business to show me the ropes of how to get by. So you're right. I'm going outside my networks and mingling with, you know, another section where they can help me reach there. You see what I mean? Also, Tim says, do not discard your current networks quite yet. Tap into and see the existing connections. Know any professionals in your new career field. and obviously you can connect with them and grow your network, reaching out to other sources like professionals, alumni organizations to help you meet obviously the new people or the new field in obviously in that sector or in that career.
And now we have social media, right?
So yes, social media like Instagram,
LinkedIn is perfect.
Guess what? Believe it or not, I only had Instagram for probably a year or and a half.
Really?
You won't believe it. Yeah.
Wow.
I said I was never going to go on it, and now I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for Instagram. I love it so much. I had to do it because of the business. You see what I mean?
And it does help. But I was someone who wasn't a fan of LinkedIn. I was like, I'm never gonna go on LinkedIn. It's just too. I just don't like the way people are so professional. You know, to me, it's like a professional. It's just for like professional networking.
That's where you are.
I'm more of a social person. But now I like it. Like I'm on it because I realized they've changed. Sorry, their what do you call it? They've changed their. Is it marketing strategy or something? Because before it was just like for professionals only, but they've rebranded a little bit.
Have they? Okay, well, I'm not sure actually, because I only got on about a year or two ago. So yeah, LinkedIn is a really good one for businesses and careers. They do normally advertise jobs all the time, asking people who are willing to change their careers on there. Companies, Twitter is another one. There's a lot of social networks on Twitter, which you can get on sort of groups to have conversation with about what you want to do, basically. Yeah,
very good for career changing.
Career changes,
LinkedIn, definitely a good one. And also, one thing I didn't mention is also CVs. You know, like if you want to change your career, it's also good to maybe change your CV according to the kind of job that the kind of field that you want to go in. Because if you have the transferable skills, you just kind of tweak it, and so it's more appealing to the employer that you're trying to attract.
Exactly.
That's another good idea as well.
Also, there's something that I forgot to mention on there. The example of the software developer starting all over again. Now, that's a quite interesting one. Wanted to be an English teacher. I saw that and I just started laughing. I'm thinking that would be a bit of a challenge for that software developer. However, it's doable. It's doable because sometimes the criteria is really stiff and you do want to put yourself through that, you know. Obviously, with a software developer, they will always be in front of the computer most of the times, designing, programs, etc. But then with being an English teacher, I don't know if it's a primary school or a secondary school, it will be a big change.
Yeah, definitely.
A really big change, but it's doable. So obviously you need to put your mindset, do a lot of research to make sure that that career that you want to make that change is the right one for you.
And you have to be realistic with yourself as well. Like
exactly.
You have to be realistic with yourself and the skills that you have, and you have to I think you have to put your age into consideration as well, depending on what career you want to go into.
Exactly.
There's so many things, even your lifestyle, even your family life and all that kind of stuff, because does it mean you have to stop working and go back to uni again? And how's that gonna, it's about looking at finances and all. So it's a lot to think about when you want to start all over again.
Also, there are some experiences that you can volunteer to take part with, so that you can, be sure that this is the career that you want to get through, or you want to join, or you want to change, or whatever you want to do.
So a lot of people do that, to be honest. They volunteer in areas where they're thinking of going into.
Yeah, so obviously there'll be tasters. Obviously, tasters of where or what career that you want to. All you need to do is, get online, track them down, send them an email, and you'll be invited to go for that taster and have a feel of how that career feels like. In most cases, they'll give you a week or two volunteering or work, some sort of experience takes the time, and then you can, you know, make up your mind if that's what you want to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, another thing that I've been mentioning over and over again is like transferable skills. So, you know, just because you're moving into a new career path, it doesn't mean that your skills, you know, are finished. Like, okay, I've worked in finance and I want to go into the medical field. So, okay, these skills are not going to help me. So you have to start from scratch. No, you have to take a good look at the skills that you have and see how they can be transferred. So, for instance, when people study law, it's very easy for them to transfer into politics, or it's very easy for them to transfer into social, like to become a social worker, because you're learning about laws. So, you know, when you're a politician, you're just basically learn about current affairs and laws and, you know, what's happening in the world. And with social work, it's quite similar. So these are the, like, for example, how you can transfer your skills when you're going into different industries, you know.
Yeah,
it's just about looking at this, like your teacher, for instance, if you wanted to go into I don't even know, let me think.
Maybe music, huh?
I mean, no, like you're people's person. So say you decided that you wanted to go into music management, like all of a sudden you want to start a music management company and you want to work in the entertainment business. It wouldn't be hard for you to do that because you know how to teach, and teaching is like leadership.
Right.
So you know how to be in control, you know how to, you know, so you know how to manage, you know, because you manage your time as a teacher, you have to manage people, you know, so you're already a people's person, you're already in that. And then also in terms of writing reports and stuff like that, it's kind of like transferable, but there'll just be certain skills you need to gain, which is not quite. And you teach business, so imagine you already teach business and economics, so you'd be able to manage people's finances, and you know what I mean. So it's not really. It wouldn't be. It would. It wouldn't be such a big, you know, like a drastic change.
Of course, of course. Yeah. However, it depends. If you haven't got that skills, then obviously you have to train yourself to move, basically. Just knowing that this is what is in front of you that you need to deal with. Are you prepared? Are you mentally prepared for that? And then you brush up yourself and just get on with it, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of the skills, it's a good idea to make a list of your skills, and then you can determine what you need. Then from that, you can look at the career you want to go to and determine the skills that you need to go into that area. So I think looking at the job descriptions as well, and looking at your job descriptions, that's the first way to see where, you know, the transferable skills can take place, is by looking at job descriptions and
also the person specification. If you've got that qualification, so you don't want to go get there and you're not that qualified. So obviously the person specification will outline, do you have a GCSE maths, English and science, whatever, A to C? Do you have a degree? Do you have this? Have you worked in that area for 2 or 3 years? Then if you need to go into a foundation, then obviously you need to start from the bottom all the way up. If they feel that you can start in between, then you start in between. So the job description is very key. That
it is, and then you look at the desirable and the essentials. You know, always look,
yeah.
So looking at what is essential, what they're looking for essentially, and then what's desired. So when you look at the desired, you know, you look at it and feel, okay, I don't have this, I don't have that, but I can be like this or I can be like that, and then that's a good way to look at it as well. But just don't be put off, you know. Just if it's something you really want to do, just do it.
You can do it. Especially here in the UK, there are access to everything. Access to foundation, access to learning, everything's online. The job centers are there to help you. All you need to do is just make up that change in your mind that this is what I want to do. And then in measurable small steps, you can make it. That long-term goal, you can do it. Whether it's teaching, whether it's music, whether it's your own business, whether it's in, you know, self-employed, people like to do their own thing as well. You know, whatever it is, once you make up that mind, I'm sure the job centers and the councils also got some funding to help people. Yeah. So all you need to do is just look it up, and then you have that that support.
We have some people that have joined the conversation.
Yeah.
So if you can read them out, because sometimes my laptop likes to mess up, so I don't get who's just...
I can see Rosemary Buba there saying, hi, ladies. Good evening. Rosemary Buba again saying happy birthday. Nina Kofi, my sister's on the show. Okay, Nina is watching from Accra, Dansuma.
Oh, wow.
Dansuma.
Is that your sister? Your friend?
She's in DC.
Oh,
wow. Dee, good evening,
Thank you
ladies.
for tuning in.
Yeah, and then Nathaniel Roach, good topic of discussion. Looking for a new job myself at the moment. So you need to tell us what you're looking for. What have you done in the past? How is there a career change or a job change? Make up your mind of what you need to do. Deciding exactly what job you want. So many people recognize that they are unsatisfied in their current careers. A lack of clarity about the job might make them happier. There are many paths you could choose from, and researching the job you're interested in can help you make an informal decision you can feel confident pursuing. So first, it might be helpful to make a list of characteristics of your ideal job. Consider priorities and compensation, work schedules, advancement of opportunities, and type of tasks, so you can learn what is most important to you in your profession. So once you've done the short list of your most interested ones, then you take actions of those. And then obviously you should contact some potential career advisors or careers shadowing, requesting information, interviews, attending events, professional industries, organizations. And when you're gathering all that data, you just compare it to learn which path aligns with your goals. It seems simple as that, but it's quite a process.
Yeah, and it can be
quite a process. Yeah,
it's quite scary as well,
Yeah,
like, it's not that easy. Because I remember when I was younger and I wanted to work at a record company, and I wanted to do it so bad, but I was so scared to just in those days there was no social media and all these things. I actually went to the record company itself and went to the reception and just said, I'm looking for a job and this is my CV. But now it's easy because you can just send CVs without seeing people. So if you're rejected, you don't care.
Exactly.
Matter. But it's not. It's really quite a hard thing to do. Changing careers.
Yeah.
I think even as a young person, no matter your age, it can be scary, and it can challenge your confidence as well a lot.
Again, before you make your mind to change your career, you need to obviously do that research. As Miss Newlove was saying, the job description, the person specification, you need to know if you're aligned to that role. For example, I can't just all of a sudden say I want to start a music career, knowing very well I can't even sing.
So you have to be realistic. Yeah, it's being
realistic about what your capabilities are. So yeah, and obviously the benefits of changing your career, finding it fulfilling, works with a positive impact on your physical and mental health, your relationship, your self-esteem, and obviously over time your bank balance. Does that mean in your bank account, isn't it? Your bank account balances.
Exactly.
The average person spends a third of their life at work, which you're right, absolutely.
Yeah.
An average person spends a third of their life where they're miserable at their jobs, and you're absolutely spot on.
I remember during my from my 20s to my 30s, I had the same job for like 8 years. And I remember I got to a point and I was like, is this life? Like, you wake up in the morning, you take the kids to the childminder, then you go to work, then you're at work like till 5, then you pick them up and you come home. And it got to a point where I was like, I need to change. I can't do this anymore. And I decided to go back to uni because it was like 8 years of doing the same thing over and over again. And I realized that I was de-skilled. I felt de-skilled, like, because you do something for so long, for 8 years, it's like
it's too much.
Exactly.
Even if you're in the same industry, I just think sometimes after about 10 years, you really need to either go for a job higher or go for a job in a different department, you know, like just change it for your own sanity and your own, you know. But believe it or not, there's some people that, like in the post office, I went to the post office when I was young as well, and there's people that have been there for like 30 years.
Wow, I wonder how they're surviving. They do not have a good mental
position for 30 years, 35. Some people are just comfortable in life, and I mean that's their choice. Everyone's choice. Everyone's entitled to their own choice. But personally, I don't think I could stay in the same job for more than 10 years.
No way. No
or
way.
Even the same. I mean, with you, how's it been for you? Have you?
I didn't want to say this story on this thing, but I guess I'm just going. When I saw the topic, I said to myself, Eva is going to let me say this story on here. You know, we all got stories about how, you know, you progress in life, blah 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 blah. But believe me, I didn't want to become a teacher. I hated the job. I've never done it before in my life. I graduated in computer science.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my first degree was computer science. But then as a child, I wanted to be a newsreader.
Which would have suited you very
well. That was my dream. So I registered on the course, and obviously this was a long time ago, but then didn't attend the course. I registered, paid for it, didn't go for it. And then at that time, 90 something, somebody said to me, oh, the computer age, blah, blah. I'm thinking, who wants to do computers? And then I ended up doing a degree in computer science, but then I loved it. I did a joint honors degree where I did information systems and I did...
I did that.
I did information systems and I did information technology. So it was a joint degree. So then I ended up in, you know, in IT. So I did IT for so long. I worked at a company called Metronet Rail in Central London in Holborn for so long. And then all of a sudden, this guy comes up to me and said to me, you know what? You know, you can become a teacher. just like that. Just like that. And I'm still friends with him on Facebook. This Nigerian guy said to me, and I said, why did you say that? And we worked together at this job. And he said to me, he's been watching me in a meeting, and the way I'm talking and the way I'm moving and my voice. And that's the story I didn't want to say. He said to me, you can be a STEM teacher in the school. And I'm thinking, whoa, this guy has really said something to me that has stuck with me for 20 years. I immediately left the job.
Wow. Yeah. So did you have to study? Did you have to do something different? Your teachers?
I did. And then I got to 0.5, deciding what I wanted to teach. You know?
Yeah, what is it that you want to teach?
I thought, oh, do I want to teach computer science or do I want to teach, you know, business? At that point, that was the path of what I didn't want to do computer science. So then I had to come out of the job, and then I decided to do my postgraduate degree in business and economics. And since then, I've been doing this for a very long while now. So maybe I can do something else. I can change from now, but I don't know what I want to do.
I think you can, because you're very diverse.
So that was it. Yeah. So it was quite a shock when he said to me, are you sure? I said, really? He went, yeah. And he said to me, what do you want to do? And then I was stuck. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
So how did you feel when you actually became a teacher? Like, did you feel like I've made a big mistake or?
No, it's really rewarding. As you said, it's really rewarding. Believe it or not, I was struggling with childcare, by the way. So I really wanted all those time. At that time, my daughter was very young. So obviously I had that time of the half term. I had to you know, stay with her, do all these trips with her. So standing in front of people was very difficult for me. But then when I just start, the information is just coming. It was just flowing, But getting to start to speak to people and just keep quiet, sit down, blah blah blah, and it was like, it just came second nature, and that was it. So managing can be very difficult depending on the group you've got. But the whole process of teaching, you learn every day. You're reading, you're researching, you're coming across all these sites, you're watching all these videos, you're coming into contact with different teachers, you're going on conferences. So it's not that boring. It's not a boring thing. It's just that you're teaching. Sometimes the contents are repetitive because you've got exactly, but you evolve in different things, which it's not boring. It's very rewarding.
Keep the brain going.
Yes, keep the brain going.
You have to update yourself. I took my son to his new sixth form this week. Well, it's quite a funny story because my son started the sixth form and decided he didn't want to go to that sixth form and he wants to go back to his sixth form at his school, his secondary school. So we went back to speak to them and they took him like that because they were like, they're so happy he wants to come. But I was looking at the teachers and I was thinking, like, being a teacher must be fun. I used to think it's such a boring job. But I was actually like listening, I was eavesdropping at the teachers in the staff room talking. And I was like, it must be fun working in a school, depending on the school, but his school's very nice. So I was like, it must be really fun working here. And, it must be interesting being a teacher. Like, it can't be that bad. So
it's not that bad. But then when you do not have a structured school, it can be overwhelming, could be stressful, running around classes, up and down, challenging if you do not have that support. It can be. But, as you said, there's so many different industries that you can get into. You get into law, catering, baking, the council, the NHS is another one, where they got so many departments, that one can switch to work with or to work in, which is could be a really good job satisfaction. So at this point, are we just going to see the video about career changing?
Yeah, it kind of, summarizes everything we've been talking to.
Okay,
and I think gives people, how can I say, probably the confidence to look into the career change. And I mean, this man's little story just makes you realize that, okay, so if he can do it, I mean, it's not really a big deal, but you think, you may think it is, but it's something people do all the time.
Okay.
Even when they're at high levels in certain industries, it's things people do. Like, before we quickly watch the video, a perfect example is like a head teacher that I know, I won't say who, but started off as a teacher, worked his way up, became a head teacher, lost his wife, and then decided he wanted to become a pastor and just went into being a minister. So that's a career change. For whatever reason, for his own mental health, for his own sanity, he just stopped being a head teacher and became a minister.
Believe me, head teacher role
so
is
it's all
quite
about
a stressful one. Yeah. Wow.
I can imagine.
That's
so do we have the video?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay.
I was not one of those kids that knew exactly what they wanted to do when they were growing up. In the last 15 years of my career, I've been an English teacher, an attorney, a video game creator, and now a toilet paper salesman selling millions of rolls of toilet paper a year. Life is about finding the intersection of what you really, really love with what you're really, really good at. As simple as it sounds, it's really not that easy to find. After a brief stint as an English teacher, I went to law school and ended up becoming an attorney at a really big law firm here in New York City. Like most Americans, for the next 2-3 years, I was holding on to my job for dear life, working really late hours in a job that I thought maybe I was good at, but certainly not one that I really, really loved. I then came upon that epiphany that it takes years, if not tens of thousands of hours to get really good at something. I really didn't have a lot of time to waste. This talk isn't for those that are just looking to quit their job because they don't like their boss or they had a long day at work. This is for those that are ready to make the completely scary leap into a brand new career. So as you think about making that career change, here are a few tips that I hope you consider and a few things that I picked up along the way. First, there's 3 things to think about before you're ready to move on. Number 1, professional life is about learning. If you're not even interested in learning anymore, that's a huge red flag that there might not be a future for you in that industry. Number 2, career changes are often gut-driven. If you're constantly having sleepless nights where you're just wide awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking, oh man, I can't live with myself if I never try to make this change, or if I don't even actually investigate it, then trust your gut. It might be time for that career change. On the flip side, one reason to not move on is short-term pain. If you don't like your boss or people at the office are grating on you, that's actually not a really good reason to absolutely change your career. Because when you do change your career, you're generally going to have to start from the bottom, and you're actually going to probably feel a lot of short-term pain, whether it's through a lack of salary or a lack of a title. Pain at any job is inevitable. So now you're convinced that it's time to change your career. Then there's 3 things to do immediately. First, network, network, network. No one ever builds a career without a good mentor or a good support network. What I mean by networking is getting all the great advice that you can possibly get. Technology has made it so simple to reach out to new people to say, hey, I'm thinking about making a career change. Do you have just 5 minutes to chat with me? That passion and that hunger and that ability to be a sponge really attracts awesome mentors and people willing to give you their time to give you some good advice. And so go out there and meet new people. The second thing you need to do immediately is shore up your finances. The reality is when you change your career, you're either going to start with a job with a lower title or lower pay or maybe even no pay, especially if you're starting your own business. So going out there and making sure that your finances are in order to make the transition less painful is really, really important. For me personally, as I made the transition from being an attorney over to a video game creator, I wanted to have at least 6 to 12 months of personal runway in the bank. 6 to 12 months might not be the right number for you, but be honest with yourself on what that number should be. Number 3, if you're not ready to make the full jump right at this moment, then get your side hustle on. Side hustles could be anything from volunteering with an organization that's in that new industry that you want to go into. Could be starting your business part-time on the weekends. It's a free way to get a taste to see if you really, really love something. So you're ready to make the move, or maybe you already made the move. Here are 3 things you should think about doing right now. 1, do not, I repeat, do not burn bridges. You spent years building those bridges, why burn them now? The world is such a small place, especially with all these online platforms, that believe me, you will see these people again, and probably in the most inopportune times. Number 2, take stock of what you've learned in your previous career or careers. Most likely, a lot of those things are really applicable to your new job and your new career. Whether it's interacting with people, playing on a team, or whether it's dealing with jerks and dealing with assholes, all those things are really universally applicable. You're gonna find jerks no matter what industry you're in. No one's immune to it. Everyone's gotta figure it out, and you probably know how to do it already. And lastly, when you start your new job, I know you're gonna be nervous, but don't worry, take a deep breath, because this is what I want to tell you. You're part of a new team now, and everyone around you is rooting for your success, because your success is their success. So welcome to your new career. Because your success is their success. Welcome to your new.
Well, that video was quite interesting, wasn't it, Jacqui?
Yeah.
Kind of summarized everything we've been talking about. Just put it in a nutshell.
Starting over, the benefits of changing your career, having the confidence to pursue this new career, and obviously identifying that your current job is not where you are. There's no progression. Having the well-being and the confidence to make that change is quite important. Very important.
Yeah, very important. And also speaking to your employer, like when you have changed careers, you have to speak to your employer about, not when you've got a new job. So when you're going to interviews and you know that you don't have the experience, it's very important to demonstrate the things that you've been doing in the meantime to get you to that stage. So things like education, maybe you went back to uni to do a degree for a year in that area, or internships that you've done previously, volunteering, all these things, and just using reference from these places as well. And that also helps you get a job in a new industry sector. So
it shows that obviously you're developing yourself,
and that you're
not
serious.
you're not being outdated of your skills within a certain industry. They can see how determined you are to brush up your skills into this sort of new sector. And also one thing, your willingness to learn.
That's it.
Willingness to learn new skills, the new environment, new challenges, that come across every job. Obviously, it doesn't say, you should say that when you change your career, it will be the best thing on earth. Obviously, each career or industry has got its own challenges. And therefore, even though you're fed up in your current role, or you've done it for plenty of years, doesn't mean that this is heaven or the pasture's green or whatever they call it. You will still come up with some similarities of, stress or whatever. But all you need to do is just incorporate obviously what you're learning, your new skills, being happy about what you're doing, and knowing that you've decided to go to this area, make the most of it, make it enjoyable, the new contacts, try to learn from people so that you're on board most times, basically.
Yeah. So like I said, I hope that video kind of gave you a good idea about changing careers, or even for those of you that are watching, maybe you've been thinking about it, but you haven't really, or you thought to yourself, maybe I like to do something else, but I don't think I can. This is, it's a new season. Why not? So we just want to remind everyone that this is the Wellbeing Show, and we bring topics to you that, challenge your mental well-being and challenge you as a person.
Exactly. So, Nathaniel on there mentioned something, that he got offered a job but failed one exam to get a license he needed, and he will try again. And that is an interesting thing about career changes. For example, with the teachers, if you do not have GCSE maths, or even if you've got GCSE maths, maybe a grade 6. A grade 6 is a B. And English. Okay. And with the teachers, you have to do an entry assessment. So there's a maths, English, and an ICT assessment that you need to do.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know what assessment that Nathaniel was, referring to, because obviously he said he wanted to get a license that he needed. Even with nursing, you all have to do all these, assessments to get in. You don't just because you want to be a nurse, you go there and you're being recruited.
No, it doesn't work like that. You have to study.
It doesn't work like that. You need to actually...
Even to be a security guard and a doorman, you have to do a test.
Exactly. So you need to brush up yourselves. If it's your maths that you didn't get a B, and then because these tests will frustrate you. You have to do it over and over again before you get the acceptance to do the postgraduate. They won't just get you in there just because you want to change your career.
And the thing is, sometimes you're already a graduate, like myself. You want to go and do a master's or postgraduate degree, and if you don't have maths and English, C or above, you have to go and do it again. They don't care if you're a graduate.
They don't care. So what I can say right now is, even though you're in a job, maybe you're happy or not, think about your GCSE, which could be,
and do it whilst you're working now. Like,
look at you, to get it going. Exactly.
Look at what you need in order to get that new job. And like you mentioned before, don't just give up your job, but you could be actually studying whilst you're in your current job in order to switch careers. So there's so many things to look into. And
so you can be working on your maths, or you can be working on your ICT. There's so many courses on there that you just go online and you just do the courses. As simple as that, just to brush yourself. So when you make that change or that decision that you want to change, then you've already got that on board. You don't have to worry then, because it could be a barrier. And as Nathaniel said, he said he's going to try again. And you know what? Back in the day, this was probably 2016 or 15, I can't remember, that maths and ICT test, a lot of people kept failing it to get into the teachers training program, the postgraduate program, and therefore the government had to remove it for a while, and then they put it back in because they couldn't get some teachers just to pass the maths, which is really an issue for the country. So depending on what area, you need to do that research to find out that you'll be eligible
Nathaniel said, funny enough, it was a doorman course, not
was
for
it?
a nightclub.
Oh my God. Not for a nightclub.
So it was for SIA. Yeah, a lot of people I know have failed it, you know, surprisingly enough.
Really? The doorman course?
Yeah, I've known a few people that have failed that. So it must be quite hard to do because it's quite intense, they said, yeah, to get the SIA license or whatever it is, yeah. Because you can work in so many places with it. It's like you said, it's not just nightclubs, it's schools, you know, concierge, anywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's the first I've heard of that, honestly. I'm quite surprised.
Yeah, SIA, sorry, said, yeah. So we've come to the end of the
yeah. So thank you guys. I'm quickly going to go through our the values of Bestel Foundation. Bestel's aims and objectives, or aims I should say, they reach out, their values I should say, they reach out to anybody who needs them. They have independent partnerships. We've got so many partners within Bestel Foundation. We listen, we act, we never give up. Their mission is to support mental well-being in Ghana and in the UK, and obviously through the awareness of creation and education, the Wellbeing Show, and everything else we do, providing support to our organizations with medical skills training and workshops. We are actively enhancing our mental illness, especially improving the level of inclusion among the BAME community due to the stigma. Again, next month, Bestel of the group are going to Ghana again. We've been aiming to bring the team on the show, which is over a year now, but we promised this next year, or when they come back, we should bring them on the show. Peter, Stella, Auntie Hilda, Christabel, they're regulars that go to Ghana. I don't know if you're going, but the regulars that normally go with the medical team, I think they should come onto the show.
Yes, definitely.
We should see them because we keep on mentioning their names with Fendi. Fendi is also one of the backbones, and Maria, all those lot are supposed to be on the show. So I hope they're watching us tonight.
We've been going a year now, so we're going to start dragging you out.
I know, aren't we tired already? Supporting mental health institutions in the country, implementing holistic care in the community, involving service users and their families, to get NHS links from the UK mental health services, to collaborate with Ghana mental health services for quality improvement in services provision, and also implementing community mental health teams. So basically, that is Bestel. Not forgetting Lee, Simon. We have Simon for a while. I think we should get Simon on.
Definitely.
Simon. Yeah.
And Lee.
And Leon. Yeah, we should get Simon and Leon.
And
so
also,
basically, that's it.
Yeah. And also, who did we have on that was quite interesting? What's his name?
Who?
DJ.
Oh, DJ Francis.
Yeah, DJ Francis.
Francis was another interesting, very emotional, obviously, I don't know if I should say case study or case or...
Yeah, like...
I think, DJ Francis should come back on as well. So Nathaniel, well done for coming on. Rosemary Buba, thank you. Sarah Pinzo, thank you. Sari, birthday girl, well done for tuning in. Who else have we got? Dee, Nina, Rosemary Buba, I'm sure. Other people on there I can't see. If you're on there, thanks for coming on, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, and a big thank you once again to our sponsors, who are South London and Maudsley NHS, and the National Lottery Community Fund. Thank you. Without them, it's like almost impossible to do the show. And our partners, who are 60 Seconds Real, 60 Seconds Creative Studio, who is the person that does our amazing flyers for us. I just realized that the other day. So a big thank you to Samson, and that's his company, 60 Second Creative Studio. So if you do like our flowers, you can also find him on Instagram if you'd like someone to do yours. And then we have Real Insight Consultant, which belongs to Nash, who goes to Ghana with Bestel every year, and also owns Diversity Radio. So Diversity Radio is where we stream live. So as you can see, we're all partners with each other. We're supporting one another. Gold Diggers Talk Show, which belongs to myself, and Base, Become a Successful Entrepreneur, which belongs to Jacqui. So we're all working together.
As you can see on the screen, we've got some of the medical team there. You've got Peter there. You've got, obviously, Miss New Love is there. You've got Marianne and everybody else there.
Yeah.
Auntie Christabel.
So,
Lisa, Auntie Hilda.
And don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms on Bestel, and also follow our YouTube page, which is really important. And we'll be back in 2 weeks' time at 8 o'clock.
Have a good evening, guys. See you in 2 weeks. Stay blessed.
Hi, my name is Miss New Love, and I'm one of the hosts of a brand new show brought to you by Bestel Foundation.
I was not one of those kids that knew exactly what they wanted to do when they were growing up. In the last 15 years of my career, I've been an English teacher, attorney, a video game creator, now a toilet paper salesman selling millions of rolls of toilet paper a year.
On Diversity Radio, via Facebook, YouTube, and
life is about finding the intersection of what you really, really love with what you're really, really good at. As simple as it sounds, it's really not that easy to find. After a brief stint as an English teacher, I went to law school and ended up becoming an attorney in a really big law firm here in New York City. Like most Americans, for the next 2-3 years, I was holding on to my job for dear life, working really late hours, a job that I thought maybe I was good at, but certainly not one that I really, really loved. I then came upon that epiphany that it takes years, if not tens of thousands of hours to get really good at something. I really didn't have a lot of